Hey everyone, good morning. So good morning and good evening. Let's see what exactly we are doing today. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay. So yesterday guys we talked about, let's do a quick recap. There are a few commands which we talked about of GIT. To name few, we talked about how do we create branch, how do we switch branch, what is git checkout, how do we merge, then we saw git reset, git cherry picking and git tagging. These are the commands which we have seen yesterday. Today we'll take this further and we'll see what exactly is remote, and we even saw git stashing, what exactly stash is and why do we need stash and in which scenario we'll be using stashing. Okay, today we'll take it further. We'll talk about remote and we'll talk about these all commands, what exactly these are. Okay, but before that there are some few prerequisites such as you guys have to sign in to Azure DevOps. Till now we have not seen Azure DevOps yet. So Azure DevOps is nothing but guys, it's a portal. Okay, it's a web portal, so on which you guys can sign in using the same email ID which you have used for Azure Cloud. Okay, everyone is signed into Azure Cloud, correct? So use the same email ID to sign into Azure DevOps. Okay, the link is dev.azure.com. Just go to this link. Okay, it is taking me to the project. Let me switch. Let me go to a different email ID. Okay, this is how it will look like when you go to the link. There is an option of sign in. Okay, let me open this in incognito mode. Let me remove this. Okay, so you start for free. Just click on start free. It will prompt you for an email ID. Use the same email ID which you have used it for your Azure Cloud account, guys. Don't use anything else. I'll tell you the reason why exactly I'm telling you to use the same email ID later, but for now make sure to use the same email ID. Okay, when I'm in see, that's it, get started. Even I am signing in for the very first time. Country, region, you select your own country, and this is the place wherein you can give the organization name. Okay, so Mela DevOps will be my organization name, so this is okay. We'll host our project in South India, if that is okay for you, or if you want to change the region, it's okay. Keep it in whichever region you want, that doesn't matter. Let's put this GNS. Let's wait while the organization is getting created. So using this email ID, even I am signing it for the very first time, guys. So this will create an organization for you, and this will sign you in on Azure DevOps. Yeah, this is how it looks like. If you want to create any project, for now let's skip this part for creation of a project and all, but for now just focus on this is your organization which got created. Mela DevOps, that was my email ID. Based on that, the organization was created, and it is asking you to create any project if you want to create any project. So for now, let's go back and let's create a random project, guys. Let's create a project name DevSecOps. Okay, something like this. I'll keep it public. There are two options you can create as of now, and you can keep it public and private too, but for now you're getting only private option. The reason is this is the first project. Later you can switch it to public also if you want. And when you go in the advanced section, this is the place wherein you need to select the version control as Git. As I said, there are two options, Git and Team Foundation version control. So we'll stick with Git. We are not using Team Foundation. Work item process, we'll keep it basic for now, but later I'll show you what are the different work item, what is agile, what is scrum, what is CMMI, and all this we'll talk about in details. For now we'll keep it basic and just create a project. So the whole purpose why did I create a project is, so when you create a project, this section is your Azure repos. This is your Azure repos, guys. So this is the place where all your local changes, whatever we did, if you want to push it to a remote repository. So this is the place wherein you can push everything. This is very similar to your GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and this is based on Git itself, and this is Azure repos. So this is the place through which you will be managing your complete remote repository. Okay. So even over here, when you create a project for the very first time, this repository is not yet ready. The first thing what you have to do is you need to do a git initialize. So if you come down, there is an option initialize your main branch. So this will, if you just click on this button, your repository got initialized, and there's one branch. By default, the main branch gets created in remote repository. So when we were doing a git initialize on our local, it was creating a master branch by default, correct? Now whenever you create any default branch in remote repositories, then a main branch will be created. It is same for everyone, guys. It is same for GitHub, it is same for GitLab. You will see a main branch getting created automatically. Okay, so this is my remote repository is ready. Now if you want to, the first command, there are multiple things which you can do with remote repository. So the first command is git clone. Git clone is basically whatever changes you have in your remote repository, and if you want an exact mirror copy on your local system, then at that time you need to use git clone. How do you do a clone? Very simple. Copy this, open git bash, just the command git clone, and when you do it for the very first time, it will prompt you for a user ID and password. So let's wait. It should open a new browser, and in the new browser you need to put in your user ID and password information. So this is how it will be authenticated. So you use the same user ID and password which you have used for logging in into Azure DevOps. So this is the email ID and the password which I have to use it. Okay, let's wait while it's still coming up. It's taking a lot of time. Let's wait. Okay. Only once you have to put, guys, once you do enter the details, it will get saved into your Windows credential in Windows machine, post which it will not prompt you for a user ID and password.
So this will be saved locally or globally?
So this will be saved locally or globally? locally, only on your system. Okay, so this is done. If you go back to this account, DevSecOps, this folder, so this is a remote repository. Okay, I don't have multiple files. Okay, it's a remote repository. We can run all the git commands. The only difference you can see now, the git branch, we have main branch, and if you do -a, you can see remote branches also. So your origin main and your head in the remote head, it's on the same commit. This is what it is trying to tell you right now. Okay, and this is what git clone did. So it cloned entire everything and mirrored it on your local system. That is what git clone did. So if you go and see in my remote repository, I just had one commit. I had some readme file which got added automatically. These are the readme file which got added automatically, and this is the branch, and I had one history. So history means commit. So this is added readme.md file. So this is all the details got added over here. You can see it. You can even see the history, added readme.md file. And if you see, the commit is showing the head is on main. So this is your local main, this main, and origin main. Both are same right now. Both the commits are same, and the head is at this is the latest commit which you find out. Now from where exactly, now there are other commands like git fetch, git pull, git push. Okay, let's understand this pull and push first. Git pull, if there is any incremental change on your remote repository. Okay, so you clone only once, you don't clone every time. Whenever you come, you don't clone. So whenever you start your day, you do the fetch, you do a pull. Pull will basically, what it will do, it will get you all the latest incremental changes to your local system. For example, like suppose there are other developers, and those developers, they added few files. Like for example, let me just upload some files. They added few files like this. Okay, I've added a file, I'm checking a file, daily update something on my remote repository. Okay, in my remote repository there are files got added, and there's one more commit which has been added daily update text file. Okay, now when you come in, like when you start your work, you don't have that file right now, correct? The one thing is you go and clone it again. So clone is not the right way of doing things, guys. Every time you cannot clone because the repository may be a bigger size, 2 GB, 3 GB. Cloning is very time consuming. Okay, in my case it was just a readme file. It took only seconds to clone, but in reality, in projects you may end up getting a larger file of 3 GB, 4 GB, 5 GB. So you cannot clone the entire file daily. Okay, that's not recommended. So what do you do? What you need to do to make sure that your local copy is up to date? In order to update your local copy, the command which you need to run is git pull. That's it. Okay, git pull, and it will pull all your latest changes, incremental changes locally. So if you see, we got daily update file added. Now this git pull, basically what it does is git pull origin. There's a origin which is defined, and we are defining the main. This is the command. This is the command, but you just need to run git pull. That is more than enough. Why? Because this origin is already set on my local. When I clone the repository, the origin and everything got set. How do we check if the origin is set or not? There's a command git remote -v. V stands for verbose. Now if you see this origin, this is the link. So basically the command, when you do a git pull, the command is something like this: main branch. So you're doing a pull from this link from the main branch. This is the absolute command. But this origin is already set, and if it is set, just git pull is more than enough. Okay, so that is what pull. So pull is something you will be doing it on daily basis when you come in. On the other hand, there is an option of fetch. So what pull does, guys, what pull will do, pull will pull all the latest changes first, and then it will commit all those changes automatically to your local system, local copy. So this was copied locally and it was committed also. Now on the other hand, there is the option of fetch, git fetch. Git fetch, what it does, it will fetch all the latest changes, but it will not commit those changes automatically. It will give you an option to do commit. Then why do we need fetch? There could be a scenario that you're working on some project and you don't need others developer changes because it may hamper your production activity. It may hamper your development activity. So in such cases you can use git fetch. Git fetch will fetch all the files for you, and then you can decide whether you want to take it or not. That's it. That is what the difference between git pull and fetch is. Okay. On the other hand, there is an option of git push. Now what is push? Now whatever changes you're making locally, for example, I'm making a changes. Hello world. Okay, this is the change which I made locally. And I want to push these changes to my remote repository. Okay, how do I push it? I made the changes locally. Now there is a commit. If you go and see the log, see the difference where the head is right now. The head is at the main. This is the local main branch, correct? My remote repository does not have this change. How do I push my changes? So the command is git push. Actual command is origin main. So you're pushing, the origin is replaced with the link, hyperlink, and main is the branch where you're pushing changes. So I'll just keep it git push. This way also more than enough. This will push my changes to my remote repository. Done. Done. Okay, so today I'm not covering Azure repos in greater details, guys. This is something we'll cover from next week. Today the focus was to show you how do we connect to my remote repository. Okay, so this is how you will be creating a remote repository, cloning it, and start to work on it. So when you start to work on it, this is whatever changes you do it locally. If you want to keep it remotely, then this is how you will do it. Okay, anyone has any questions about this?
Can you run through the clone
No questions?
real
Then
quick?
today we'll talk about, yeah,
Yeah, I mean the Git clone. Yeah.
one more clone. Yeah, it's very easy. You just have to go back. When you create a repository, then there is an option over here. Click on clone. There are multiple ways to clone, but for now just stick with HTTPS. Other ways I'll show you later. HTTPS, copy this link. Okay, I already have this copy, so let me come back outside. Just do a git clone and just clone it. Like for example, let me delete the existing one first. If I delete, then I can clone the entire copy again. Okay, done, deleted. Just git clone. Now this time it will not prompt me for a user ID password, guys, because it's already saved in my Windows machine. Now if you see, I got it clone. Now if I just DevSecOps, okay, now this is my clone copy with all the files.
Got it. Thank you.
This is how you clone. Make sense? No problem. Okay, so today I am targeting a new topic. So this is about Git security. So your first security topic, guys. So we'll talk about how do we secure, what do we commit, what do we push. That is the reason I have signed into Azure DevOps, just to show you how do we make sure that no sensitive information is getting pushed into cloud. This is cloud. So that is the whole purpose. Why did I create this project? We are not using Azure DevOps for now. We'll start from next week mostly. So the whole purpose why I have created this project, just to show you how a remote repository looks like. Now the next topic which I'll be covering, that is more relevant and it will make sure that you don't push sensitive information remotely. What do I mean by sensitive information? Let's talk about that. Sensitive information such as your access keys, your private keys, your base 64 encoded keys, your passwords, your user ID, all these are sensitive information. And when you push this sensitive information, there is a great chance that you end up giving access to someone, because this is cloud platform. This is what you see. It's a cloud, even though it's a private right now, but it's a cloud platform. So you have to make sure that you're not sharing any sensitive information with Git. Okay. Now there's one scenario. There's one scenario like there was a guy who by mistakenly pushed S3 keys to his GitHub account. Okay, and there are 24/7 you will find out bugs which is continuously scanning all these GitHub accounts and GitLab accounts, and if they find out anything as such sensitive data, they quickly go and make use of it, and they do a misuse. So what exactly it did, they found the S3 key, and using that S3 key they were able to launch EC2 instance. And they launched multiple EC2 instance for what? For Bitcoin mining. So within 5 minutes this guy Darren got how much cost? This much of amount from AWS within 5 minutes. Okay, so this is a real-time scenario why you don't need to, why you should avoid pushing sensitive information. But we are human, correct? We tend to make mistakes. We will not even come to know that we pushed some sensitive information which we should have avoided. Okay, so yeah, this is what the case was. They launched 140 servers within 5 minutes. And for what purpose? They used it for Bitcoin mining. So this is one of the classic example. This is the, like, if you have, this is the hyperlink. If you visit this hyperlink, you'll be able to see the exact news. So AWS keys were put on GitHub, and what exactly has happened. Even though if you read through the whole news, AWS has refunded this amount. They have not charged this amount, but yeah, you may not be that lucky. Okay, and plus this was his personal account, that was totally fine. So just imagine if it's your company's account, and if by mistakenly if you have shared your company's sensitive information over the Git, if you would have done that, forget about the money. The first thing is they would have sacked you. So yeah, we need to avoid such things to be pushed into GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket or Azure repos, whatever cloud platform we are talking about. So for doing that, there is a tool called Talisman. Okay, Talisman is nothing but it's a third-party tool. It's a open source tool which has features like pre-push, and pre-commit. So what exactly pre-push and pre-commit is all about? So basically what it will do, Talisman will go and look into your commits. It will look for files. If it is sensitive files, it will highlight those files and it will not let you push those files. Okay, there are two concepts in Git. pre-push hooks and pre-commit hooks. So what exactly this will do, this pre-push hooks and pre-commit, it will make sure sensitive information such as access keys, access token, SSH keys are often erroneously leaked due to accidental Git commits. This is what we do. Yeah, it's a reality, guys. We tend to push sensitive information in remote repositories, and there are hackers in between who are already, there are crawlers which is all 24/7 running on internet which are looking for such information. So this is a classic example which you saw with the story which I just talked about, that within 5 minutes 140 EC2 instances were up and they started Bitcoin mining. Just imagine. Pre-commit hooks can be installed on developers workstation to avoid them. So what this can be done, so this tool Talisman which I'm talking about, this tool can be installed on developers workstation, and it will at the ground level itself, at the very least level, when the developer is doing a commit locally, you can enable this Talisman and it will start making sure that no sensitive information, sensitive data is pushed or committed. Okay. This works purely on regex based approach by filtering sensitive data. I'll talk about this more in a bit. If the developer wants, they can bypass this step. If they want that, no, this is the information which I need to push, which Talisman is filtering out right now, then yeah, we have a process of bypassing that also. Okay, what exactly is Talisman? Talisman installs a hook to your repository to ensure that the potential secret or sensitive information do not leave the developer's workstation. Any sensitive information, because just imagine if you're working for a company, there are 100 developers, how many developers will you keep a track on? Not possible, correct? Whether they are pushing sensitive information or not, or everyone has sensitive information. They have keys, access keys, secret keys, storage account keys, there are private keys, n number of certificates what they have. Will you keep a track? Okay, you should not push it, and no, that's not possible. So how do we make sure? So this is a tool which we can install on all the developers' computer, making sure they are not pushing any sensitive information even by mistakenly. Okay. So what exactly it does? It validates the outgoing change that looks suspicious, like potential SS key, authorization tokens, private keys, etc. So it will look for such keys, and it has an algorithm through which it looks for such keys, and post that it will make sure those keys are not pushed or it's not even committed locally. So pre-push will not let you push sensitive information into remote repository. If you install pre-commit will make sure you're not even able to commit those changes locally. Two things. There are two ways Talisman can be installed: global installation, and there's one is single project installation. Global installation will be, if you do a global installation, this will be applicable to your existing repositories, as well as if you create any new repository or clone any new repository. Okay, so Talisman will thus be present not only in existing Git repository, but also on any new repository that you init or clone. That is what global installation is all about. Wherein single project installation is, it will be present only in a single Git repository. So this is my single Git repository, guys. So this will be present over here. Okay. Talisman basically works on pattern matching. It will look for encoded values like base 64 and all. File content, it will look for if there's any sensitive file. It'll look for file size. It'll look for entropy. It'll look for credit card numbers and file name. This is how Talisman will go and start looking into things. Okay, so this is a very great tool. There are multiple tools in the market who does the sorry guys, There are multiple tools in the market who does the same thing, in which Talisman is a better tool as compared to others. Okay, so how do we install? Let's go and do the quick installation on how do we install Talisman. So we'll focus on single project for now, and we'll see how Talisman works and how it makes sure that no sensitive data is passed. So for doing that, let's go on Google and let's look for Talisman GitHub. This is the official GitHub account of Talisman, guys. This is, again, I said, it's an open source tool, and this is the official GitHub account of Talisman. And if you come down, you can look into what exactly is Talisman, more information about Talisman. For now, I can go back to installation. Okay, for installing, you can just come down. We are using single project, so these are the steps which we need to follow. So basically what it will do, it will install talisman.sh on your home directory. So this tilde sign and greater and / sign is, it will take you to your home directory basically. So what's my home directory over here? So my home directory, if I go over here, so this is my home directory. If you see this, it took me this at this location. Okay, by this cd tilde I did. Okay, that is what it is doing. It will download this file and it will place this file into your home directory. Okay, let's do it. I'm inside the home directory and it's downloading the file. Now if I just look, do you see there's a file install.sh, and there's other
It's
command.
giving
Let me
execute
tell you what exactly I'm
permission.sh.
doing with this command. See, perfect. So it is giving you an execute permission so that you can execute this file. Okay, very good. Once this is done, you have to go to your project. This is your Git project. So which is my project? The project is there at the desktop. So let's go to on desktop and DevSecOps. This is the project. Okay, I'm inside the project right now. This is my existing Git repository, and there are two commands: pre-push hook or as pre-commit hooks. Pre-push hook, as I said earlier, if you want to enable, it will not let you push anything to your remote repository. It will let you do local commits, but it will not let you push anything to your remote repository. Till that time the files are there on your local system, that is totally fine for me. But if it is getting pushed somewhere in the cloud location, if it's public, it's very dangerous. Okay, so let's install pre-hook commits first, then we'll see the let's install pre-push hooks first, then we'll see pre-commits later. Okay, so we are installing Talisman on my local. So this is basically what it will do. It will go and download the hook, and you can look, if you want to look where exactly the hook is, you can find it on, where's my desktop, .git folder. There is a section called hooks. Inside hooks you can see pre-push. See, this got installed, and this is the location where it got installed. All your hooks will get installed over here. See this pre-push, this is got installed. So we got Talisman working for us. How do we test it now? That is the important question. How do we test it? Are we good till here? Everyone is with me with the installation and what all things by downloading the pre-push and everything. Are we good till here, guys? Anyone? Any questions about Talisman and everything? Okay, no questions. Okay, now in order to test it, I have some sensitive data. Let me get you that file. Okay, I got some sensitive data. This is what the data looks like. So I'm creating a directory called secure files and putting things into secure files. The first file which I'm creating is my user ID. The second file which I'm creating is, it has base 64 encoded secrets. This is dummy data, guys, don't worry. The third which I have API keys, again a dummy data. So I'm creating 3 files with some sensitive information. Okay, and I want to check, because these are sensitive information, I want to check if Talisman is able to catch this information or not. Okay, let's go and put this all in my Git repository. So I'll just copy this all, come to my Git, and I'll paste it. Done. I got the files, file 1, file 2, file 3 created. Now if I just do a git status, let's come back. I'm inside secure files right now. If you see, even this folder was created, secure files. Okay, if I come back, so I can see secure files, and if I do a git status, I got secure files added, and in that I have 3 files. Okay, so this is what I have written over here, a very simple script kind of thing which I have executed. Creating directory, changing directory, echo, and all this echo will create the file name. Okay, done. Now I'll just do a git add quickly, adding all the files, and I'll do a git commit. So as of now we don't have Talisman enabled at the commit level, so I don't think Talisman will do anything. Testing Talisman pre-push. So pre-push we are testing, wherein when we are pushing things to my remote repository, Talisman should go and scan my files, what exactly we are pushing, and it should avoid letting us push any sensitive information. Okay, let's do if it is doing that. How do we push? Git push. Wow, do you see this error? Do you see this table? Talisman has found multiple issues with your push. It has file and the severity. So it is giving file 2 as a high severity. So you're under your secure files, file 2, this is the file. Accepted file to node to contain base 64 encoded text found. So it is telling the developer, dude, there is a base 64 encoded text which you're trying to push. See this. And it will not let you push now. Second is file 2, low severity, potential secret pattern. It is looking for secrets, and it has found that there are potential secret patterns which you're trying to push. Third, again a low priority, again a potential secret pattern. Same way, if you're pushing passwords and all, Talisman will go and block those things for you. Now these are the file config. Okay, failed to push. Talisman done. It is not letting you push anything. Okay, now suppose the developer wants to avoid all this. He wants to push. Let's imagine this file 3. He wants to push. Needs to be done in that cases. If you want to push, even though Talisman is telling you that you cannot push it, so in such cases you need to copy this entire thing, create a file called dot, it's a hidden file, Talisman rc vi dot Talisman rc, just paste this content. Now I just want to ignore file 3, so I'll delete file 2 contains as save it. Okay, and file 3 he wants to avoid. So for in order to avoid file 3, what I can do, I can simply delete that file 3. Okay, file 3 I'll delete it. I don't want to push that now. I'll do a quick add. I'll do a quick commit. Okay, so what did we do? So I had issues with two files, file 3 and file 2. So file 3 we have removed. File 2 I have added inside my .talisman rc folder, rc file, so that it can be avoided. Now let's go and see it. Git push. Okay. Did we not add this file 2? Okay, let me just add this again. Where's my Talisman folder which we created?
It's right there.
Okay.
Yep, I've seen.
Check some. It's there. It's a typo with. Okay, so it's not a typo anything as such. Then why it's not? Okay, let me do it again. Oh, it's this. This is file 3 which we avoided, guys. We should have avoided file 2. Wait. Let me copy it again. We need to avoid file 2, correct? What's happening? You have to copy everything, guys. Till file, ignore config, everything needs to be copied. Okay. That's still not right. Let me copy it. This looks good now. Let's do a quick add. Can do quick commit this time. Okay. Okay, it looks like a new file. Okay, let's do a quick push and let's see. See, this time it didn't give us any error. So what we did, we removed the file 3 and we have added file 2 in the Talisman config. Because of that, it let us pass through the error. Now if you go and see in your remote repository, you will find your sensitive information in your remote repository. So you got your secure files. See, this file 2 has your sensitive information, base 64 encoded. In the file 3 we have deleted it. So this is how pre-push hooks will work. It will, even though it will let you commit things, it will not let you push those things to your remote repository. Now there is other hook also which you can have, that is pre-commit hooks. So at your base level, so if you install this hook, it will not even let you commit. Forget about pushing, it will not even let you commit. Okay, so let this get installed, then we'll use the file 3 again which we deleted earlier, and we'll see
So does
how
this
it is blocking things.
talisman kind of like stop
Done?
any encrypted uh something like like let's say GPT encrypted files? Does it stop it or what?
Yes, so whether it's encrypted, whether it is, if it's sensitive data, and if Talisman algorithm finds out it's a sensitive data and it's very strong algorithm what they have, so it will go and stop you pushing those changes. Even though if you do a encryption with whatever base 64 encryption or anything encoding you're doing, so this base 64, it's a encrypted data, correct? I had a key previously which I have encoded into base 64, and I'm trying to push the data. Even that Talisman has stopped. So if any sensitive data, any encrypted data, if Talisman finds out, it will not let you commit. But if you want to
Yeah.
overwrite, we
So
have already
basically,
seen
this
how do we
security.
overwrite.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay, now I got,
Okay. So this basic
yeah,
tools is
no,
more
no
kind
problem.
of like
Tell me.
individual security tools, not the one that is integrated with the repo. Correct? Maybe company repo or anything. Okay, got it. Yeah.
No, correct. So this should be in SOPs. So whenever you're setting up any developer system, then this should be the SOP that the Talisman should also get installed on their local system if they're working on public repositories. Okay, it should be there inside their SOPs so that everything gets installed. Whenever you're giving away the system to developers, all this needs to be installed on their system, so that even by mistakenly they should not push anything. So again, a security concern. So if you go into the git hooks again, so you will find one more hook which got installed, that's pre-commit hooks. Okay, now pre-commit hooks will work at the base level. It will, at the first place, it should not let any sensitive data to be committed locally. Forget about remote now, locally. Talisman can be easily integrated with any sort of IDE tool. It's not, if you want to integrate this with Visual Studio and all, it can be easily integrated. And even from there, if they are doing any commits or any push, Talisman will start blocking things. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, where are we? Okay, now let me have this file3 created again. So I have the file3 created again, which has my API keys. Let's do a add. Let's do a commit. Okay, API keys. See this error, guys? I started doing commit, and there is a Talisman report. File3 potential secret pattern matching, severity low. So if you want, this is how Talisman will stop you at the commit level itself. So because what happens if you do a commit and then at that time if you're pushing and at that time if you get error, so you need to go and revert, you need to reset that commit, delete the file, and there are n number of things the developer might have to do. So this pre-commit will not let them commit itself. It will not let them update the Git repository index file. So this is more convenient for them. From the developer's perspective, this is more convenient, making sure at the commit level itself there's no commit happening and letting them to push anything into the remote repository. Again, if you want to avoid, copy this entirely. Just copy this because we already have this file now. Open the file. Insert. Done. Now do a commit. Done. No issues. If you do a push, no issues. You can push your changes. So if you want, Talisman is telling you, if you want to avoid such things, this is the data which you need to push to your remote repository, then you can go and add those into your talisman.rc file, which will eventually let you push things to your remote repositories. I'm passing this link to you guys, and make sure to practice. Okay, there are so many questions. Suppose we have 10 projects, it is required to install Talisman. No, Kishore, there is a global installation which you can do, through which it will make sure Talisman will be added to all your local, all your current as well as future repositories. Talisman is recommended live to push to repo. No. If Talisman is giving you errors, if it's giving you severity errors, you have to make sure, check it first, okay, and if not required, delete that file from your repository, then push it. Adding Talisman RC file is never recommended. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Any more questions? And if you want to uninstall, guys, it's very easy. If you want to uninstall, just go to hooks and just delete these files, pre-commit hooks and pre-push hooks. That's it. Just delete these two files. And if you want to delete Talisman permanently, just go to your home directory, remove this file, install talisman.sh. Let me remove it. Done. Now if I go to my desktop, DevSecOps, in this if I go to .git, in this I go to hooks, and where is the file? rmrf pre-commit gone and pre-push. Done. Talisman has been removed. Now Talisman will not check anything for you. Okay, this is how the cleanup will be done if you want to do any sort of cleanup, if you want to remove Talisman from your system.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Yes.
makes sense. Any questions?
So if you downloading the Talisman, so we're downloading it on the repo itself, correct? Under the folder for the repo. Is that where we're downloading it, or we can download directly on our desktop or local?
Correct. Two installation. So the one which I showed you, this is a single project installation which I showed you. So basically this is getting downloaded on your repository. So this is my repository, DevSecOps. This is getting downloaded on your repository. Come back to global. When you see this global installation, this is the way you will be installing globally. So this will make sure that this is not getting installed on your, it is not applicable just for your current project. It will be applicable all your future and all your existing projects.
Okay.
So Talisman will start working on all your projects, not just one project. This is the command to install global installation. Okay?
So every file that we wanted to,
it's just you are doing a global installation. That's it. Okay. So, and this is
every file that we wanted to exempted so we can push it. We have to create a Talisman RC for that, to put the file in that text editor, correct?
Absolutely. So you need to create a Talisman, not just Talisman, .talisman.rc. It's a hidden file, and in that you need to put the file config contain which you get when Talisman is throwing error. That is the exact same content you need to put it. When you put it, the exact same content, Talisman will ignore. It's more like a git ignore file, guys. .git ignore. If everyone knows what is .git ignore file. If not, don't worry. I'll cover .git ignore in my Monday session when we do cloud remote repository. So yeah, so it's like same file which you're putting in, and which will avoid those error file, and it will let you push or commit those changes locally, or if you want to push it remotely, then you can even do that. Make sense? So this PPT is already shared with you guys. If you want to follow this PPT, then follow this PPT, or else the link I have given into your chat, that will take you to the Talisman GitHub, the official page, GitHub page, from where you can do the installation and you can download Talisman for yourself. Single project Talisman. And this command will work on Linux also, guys. The same exact command will work on Linux. And it so nothing to make any changes. So if you're working on Linux, same command.
Rohit, one question here.
Okay, any other questions?
Regarding the
If you mind to
Talisman
pause it.
global installation, so see, it's a restricting the project wise, right? I believe the secret keys and sensitive information. So globally means where we are installing. I didn't get that
Correct.
point.
See this. Globally, globally means you're installing on your local system, and on your local system, whatever projects you clone, like suppose you clone 10 project, 10 repository.
Okay,
So
okay,
those
got
will
it.
be applicable to all those 10 repository. As simple as that. Or if you have any existing repository already before Talisman was installed, it will be even applicable to those. So globally means you're installing Talisman on your local system only. The only difference is it will be applicable to all the
Thank
projects. That is only difference. Make sense? No problem. Okay. So that's it for today, guys, and we have done a lot on practical things in Git. I want you guys to be very well thorough with this Git things what we did and with this Talisman before we move on to the next topic, because the next topic is I'll be talking about branching and merging strategy. This is not practical, this is more of theory wherein we'll be discussing things. So that is something I'll do it on Friday, not today. Okay, tomorrow I'm giving a gap. There's no session tomorrow. I want you guys to practice. I'll be sharing assignments. I'll be uploading assignment documents on the drive today itself. So that will be related to Git. I want everyone to go and do the assignment and make sure the assignment is completed. This is what the assignment will look like, guys. Make sure the Git assignment is completed, because once you do the Git assignment, this is the section which you need to, for now, need to focus. Okay, so make sure this is completed along with Talisman. Talisman is not added over here, so I'll add Talisman and I'll share it with you guys. And this complete assignment WordPad will be copied in my drive. Make sure during your free time, whenever you guys get time, to complete this assignment. Eventually we'll have assignment for Azure repos, we'll have assignment for ARM templates, we'll have it for service connection, and so forth. We'll have it for projects. So make sure to complete all this. Once you start doing all this, you'll get confidence, and you can put down whatever you're doing over here, you can put down in your resume also. Okay, so I'll be sharing this documents. We don't have any session tomorrow. I want you guys to go and practice whatever we did in these 3 days. And on Friday we'll not have any practical sessions, but we'll have a theoretical session. We'll be discussing branching and merging strategy, which is very important, okay, in DevOps. So make sure, so it's not, if it's not practical, don't think that you don't have to join. It's very important, wherein on what basis will you create branches? Will you go and create branches randomly? And on what basis your build and release pipelines will be created? All these things we'll be discussing then. Okay, so let's see you guys on Friday. Tomorrow there's a day off, but utilize the day off.
Yeah,
and
I remember to send the assignment, please, so we
Make
can
sense?
play with
Any
it.
questions? Any doubt? Yeah, don't worry. Within next 30 minutes, I'll upload it. Okay, if there's no question, no doubt. Thank you very much, guys. See you all on Friday. Okay, bye bye.